Hello everyone, and welcome to another video in our series of Texas Instrument calculator and how to use the BA2 Plus calculator. In this series we're going to cover a variety of topics on how to use the BA2 Plus calculator for financial or business math. In this video, in the compound interest series, we're going to be looking at how do we find the equivalent interest rate using the BA2 Plus calculator. But before we do that, before we start, it's very important to watch the video in this series on how to find the effective interest rate. So if you haven't done that, please watch that video before looking at equivalent interest rate video, because here I will be using the effective interest rate. The BA2 Plus calculator uses the effective interest rate to find the equivalent interest rate. So what's the equivalent interest rate? Similar to finding the effective interest rate, which was the interest rate compounded annually of a certain interest rate that's compounded monthly or weekly or daily or bi-weekly, equivalent, we're looking for the interest rate compounded at a different compounding period than the given interest rate. So instead of finding the effective, as we did in the other video that I recommended you watch, if they said, for example, 3% compounded monthly is equivalent to what interest rate compounded bi-weekly? You're getting a car loan or whatever, and they said it's 3% monthly. And you said, okay, if I want to pay bi-weekly, for example, or I want to calculate the interest bi-weekly or the opposite, what's the equivalent interest rate? So to do that using the formula, it's going to be a hustle because we have to find one of them, say here, I1 in terms of I2. This is the same future value. These are gone, the present value, but we still have to manipulate the formula, right? Raise one to the power of the other, then move one to the other side to find the one we're looking for. So it's a hustle to do that. Instead, we're going to be using the calculator. Okay? Remember, the formula gives us the periodic interest rate, so you still have to find the nominal interest rate. The calculator will do that for you. The only thing with the calculator is there is no equivalent interest rate worksheet. That's why I said we have to use the effective interest rate. So to find the equivalent interest rate, we have to go through the effective interest rate. What do we mean by that? Let's look at this example. 6% compounded monthly is equivalent to what rate compounded quarterly? So we have monthly, we're going to look at quarterly. To find this, we're going to take the 6% compounded monthly, find the effective interest rate of that, change the compounding period or compounding frequency, and find the nominal of that effective interest rate. So that's why I repeat, if you haven't seen the effective interest rate video, please do that as soon as possible. Okay, so this is the first interest rate, the nominal, compounded monthly. We're looking for the equivalent compounded quarterly. So if you're using the calculator, you don't need to find this. What do we do? As we said, we're going to take this and find the effective of that. Then we're going to change the compounding frequency and use the effective to find the nominal. So we're going to go to the calculator, enter nominal as 6, compounding frequency 12, CPT effective. Now, without clearing the worksheet on the calculator, go back to CY, change it to 4, go back to NOM and CPT. So we're going to use the effective, change CY, calculate the new nominal interest rate. And that would be our answer. So 6% compounded monthly is equivalent to 6.03% compounded quarterly. Let's bring in the calculator and go through the steps one step at a time. Okay, so to bring the effective interest rate worksheet, as we know, we're going to press on second and the icon be here above the to button. And as you see, we have the NOM, you go up, you get to CY, effective, and so forth. So we're going to start by entering the first interest rate, which is 6, compounded what? Monthly. So we're going to enter 12, even though it's 12, I just want to show you how to do it. Click on enter. We're going to go up to effective and press CPT. And this is the effective interest rate, which is the equivalent interest rate to this, but compounded annually. So the effective interest rate is equivalent, but compounded annually. But that's not what we're looking for. So we're not going to touch this. We're not going to clear work. We're going to go back up till we see CY, and we're going to change it to 4 and press enter. Go to NOM now instead of effective and press CPT. And that would be the answer. So I'll repeat the steps. You enter the NOM of the first interest rate, enter the compounding frequency, calculate the effective. Go to the compounding frequency, change it to the second one, go to NOM and calculate it. And that would be the equivalent interest rate. Let's look at another example. 7% compounded semi-annually is equivalent to what compounded daily? So the same idea, we have the first interest rate. Semi-annual means compounding frequency is 2. We're looking for the interest rate compounded daily, 365. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to enter NOM 7, 2, calculate the effective. Then we're going to go to CY, change it to 365, calculate the NOM. And it will give me 6.88. One more time, what does that mean? It means 7.12% or 7%, sorry, compounded semi-annually is equivalent to 6.88 compounded daily. Let's bring back our calculator, and no need to clear TVM here or clear work, but if you want, you can clear it to start fresh. So let's clear work. We're going to enter 7 as the NOM, so we're going to press 7 and press enter. We're going to go up, enter CY as 2, go up, click CPT on the effective. And you see it's the same answer. Now don't clear anything, go back, down, change CY to 365 and press enter. Go down to NOM and press CPT. And the answer is 6.880933 as we see over here. So the answer is 7% compounded semi-annually is equivalent to 6.88% compounded daily. Another example. Here we're looking at personal loan was taken at interest rate of 5%, compounded monthly. If the bank decided to deduct 2% from the effective interest rate, sometimes with mortgages, for example, the Bank of Canada decreased the effective interest rate, the premium or whatever. Calculate the new interest rate compounded monthly. 2% from what? The effective. So we cannot subtract 5 minus 2 and say it's going to be 3%. So it's the same idea here, but we're not changing the compounding frequency. The only thing is, once we find the effective interest rate, we subtract 2% from it, then we go and find the new nominal interest rate. Okay, so we're going to start with the nominal at 5%, compounded monthly, and we're going to find the effective. Now we're going to subtract 2% from this effective, and we're going to store it in the effective interest rate. So make sure you don't keep this value here, subtract 2, and make sure you press enter. I'll show you how. We don't have to change CY, all we have to do is go back to NOM and press CPT. So the new nominal interest rate is 3.07 compounded monthly. Even though the bank decreased the interest rate by 2%, but they increased the effective, not the nominal. Okay, let's bring our calculator and do that step one step at a time. Let's clear work. And let's enter the nominal at 5. Press enter. Go up. CY is 12, so we're going to press 12 and press enter. We're going to go up and CPT effective. So now I'm going to subtract 2 from that. It's very important to press enter here because this you're doing a calculation outside the worksheet. If you don't press enter, the effective is still 5 point. Once you see the equal sign here, that means it's correct. Okay, all we have to do now is go down or up till we reach NOM. You don't have to change CY and just press CPT. And the answer will be 3.0725, etc. So 3.07% after rounding. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos on statistics using SPSS and Excel, among other things.